And good evening, everyone. TJ Alls of I-45 now. Welcome to another edition of our election forums, Voice the Vote 2021. Tonight, our first forum of the evening here at 7 o'clock, featuring the candidates for District A, La Marque City Council. And we're glad to have everyone on board with us here tonight. We have David Holman, Kimberly Yancey,
hello,
Tracy Steen, and Wayne Hopgood. And we'll be hearing from all of the candidates here shortly. But right now, I'd like to welcome in our co-sponsors of the event tonight, Paige Michelle, the president of the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce. Paige, thanks for joining us. And as always, we do appreciate having our partnership with the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce on these forums.
Thank you, TJ, and we appreciate you. We appreciate your putting this together and giving us the opportunity to have this forum.
And before we get into it, a lot of great activities. We had a great banquet not too long ago here that went off without a hitch. A great night for many people. The first time seeing everybody in person. But we got some great events coming up for the chamber, don't we?
Yes, there are. Every month there's something great to bring people together and network.
Yeah, and including one of those is the State of Industry Luncheon coming up just in a few weeks, April 27th.
That's right. It'll be on Tuesday, April 27th at the Doyle Convention Center. Some great speakers lined up, and tickets and tables are on sale now. And
obviously, it's in person, and so glad to have those in-person events again going on. And this is where you get to hear from all the industry leaders in the Texas City and La Marque area, talking about obviously the petrochemical industry, which has really had to adjust a lot of things also during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's right.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Paige.
They're going to talk about their response and lessons learned, and it'll be great information.
And then obviously in May, a great organization, the Women in Business, which is something that's really kicked in with the Texas City La Marque Chamber. Tell us about that group and what they do each month when they meet.
Yeah, well, it has been all virtual for many, many months on Zoom, connecting on the Zoom platform and hearing some good speakers, but it's just not the same as getting together in person. So May 13th will be the first event where we're back in person together, connecting the women, and we're hosting it at the C-Star base, Galveston, which is a great venue. I think everyone's going to want to come out. We've got a couple neat speakers, someone that's going to give us some good business information, and then a little motivation for the day. And so there'll be a lunch served, and it's just going to be a great time for women to network and support each other.
And then coming up and rearranged because of COVID, but back again, the Industrial Trade Show coming up in July. Looking forward to that. That's the big trade show.
That's a big trade show, very well attended. And we had originally wanted it in April. We pushed it to July, hoping times would be safer. It looks like that was a good idea. And we've got, hundreds of vendors and people that will be there to interact and make business connections.
And make sure you sign up. And you can find out about all of these activities happening at the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce. In fact, if you go on to the TCLM website, in fact, you will find their Chamber Express newsletter that you see up on your screen now that has you can take a look back at that awards banquet we talked about, the State of Industry luncheon, and a whole lot more of information there for you as well. Just go to the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce's website to find out more. Anything else you want to make sure folks are not? I know that the Chamber's always trying to get word out, particularly about the disaster relief funds and the like going on right now as well.
Yeah, we work every day one-on-one with members. So we love having the big events where everyone comes together, but we're really there every day working with our almost 800 members, giving them one-on-one assistance with whatever they need, from marketing to, finding where the resources are to get through this pandemic. And so I just encourage every business, if they're not already a member and they want to know more about the benefits, to stop by or give us a call.
Great. All right. Paige Michelle, the president of the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce, obviously our co-sponsor for the event tonight, as well as the mayoral forum that will be coming up at 8 o'clock or around there or so here. So let's get right into the forum now. Thanks, Paige. We appreciate you being on with us. And now let's bring in our 4 candidates running for District A. The first time we've had an open race for District A, in more than a decade in La Marque, and it's considered the heart of La Marque. Before we go, this is how it goes. This is a Q&A session that we'll be doing with the candidates all throughout this. And this is no time limit on everyone, although I ask that everyone kind of keep their comments brisk and to the point. And at the end, each candidate will be able to give up to 3 minutes presentation where they talk only about their campaign and why you should vote for them. They won't be talking about their opponents at that time. And we pick an order on that based on a randomizer that I have here. I'm going to ask each of the candidates now to go ahead and pick out a number, and the one who comes closest to it gets to pick what spot they go to. Let me go ahead and go with Wayne Hobgood first. You give me a number between 1 and 10, Wayne. Wayne, can you hear me?
3.
3. All right.
3.
We'll go now. Kimberly Yancey.
7.
7. All right. Tracy?
4.
4. And David?
9.
9. All right. Closest to it was Wayne. The number was 2. So, Wayne, you had a 3. Would you like to go first, second, third, or fourth at the end tonight with your final presentation?
I'll go last.
Okay, go last. The next closest in was go to who had 4? Here. All right, Tracy, you get to go first, second, or third?
Third.
All right. And then 3. Who picked 3? That would be Kimberly.
Yeah. I picked
go first or second?
I picked 7.
Oh, you picked 7.
Yeah,
Okay, so that means 3 then was you, David.
No, he picked
Wayne picked number 3.
Oh, 3. I'm sorry. 9. Sorry, 9. 7 was closer. I'm sorry. So then, Kimberly, you on first or second?
I go second.
All right. Sorry, I'm off to a rough start here. Then, David, you'll go first. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So we'll get into it now, right off the bat. And the first question up here is, what would your top 2 priorities be if elected? And let me go ahead and Kimberly, we'll go ahead and go with you to go first on that one.
Good evening, La Marque. My name is Kimberly Yancey. My first 2 top priorities would be for our youth. Right now, we need to invest in our youth, that they are our future for La Marque. The second priority would be economic development, would be my top 2 right now. We have seemed to abandon our youth in La Marque, and we definitely need to concentrate on our youth and investing in them and their future. One of the things that I want to do as an educator, and the only college educated candidate here, is to focus back on the children of La Marque. All of the children. We are a unique city because we have 5 different school districts within our city limits, and also to attract quality businesses that will bring families back to La Marque. So TJ, those would be my 2 top priorities, is businesses and the youth, to attract families back to our great city of La Marque.
Got it. And we'll be coming to each of your candidates to explain how you're going to get those 2 priorities taken care of. Wayne, same question to you now. Your top 2 priorities if elected to District A. Your mic is off there, Wayne. You need to turn it back on. There you go. Well, went off again.
What about
There
now?
you go. Now you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. There you go.
Hello, how you doing, Lamar? Okay, great. I'm Wayne Hobgood here. 2 of my top priorities would definitely be community development, and that is encompassing our youth, our teens, and our seniors. Also, infrastructure. Infrastructure is a big part of what has been not, I wouldn't necessarily say completely neglected, but hasn't been brought about and fulfilled properly. I believe that with our infrastructure, that encompasses safety, that encompasses our daily life whenever we come to and fro in District A. These are the two of the main priorities that I will be going forward to try to make better as soon as I'm elected.
Gotcha. All right. Now, same question to you, David.
Well, my number one priority would be public safety. When I say public safety, I mean everything: funding the police, getting funding for community programs, and then getting with our youth, building a relationship, a trustworthy relationship with our youth, getting them at a young age, and getting them to trust us and building them up and helping them up. I have so much experience with the youth. I am the board of directors of the Children's Center, Inc., and that's what we work on. We work with children. We get them going. We get them families back on track, and we help them get on to a better life than what they come from. And public safety is really, and the youth is really what I would really want to work hard on.
All right. And now, Tracy, same question for you.
My focus would be public safety and our infrastructure. It is very important to have a safe community. It means nothing to be in a community where you're scared to go outside the door in your community. So safety, public safety, it's a sidewalk, street lights, stop signs, speed bumps, safer neighborhoods. Safety is everything. If you have a safe community, people will come in and they would like to come in and build their families, go outside and play. So a safe community is my number one focus. My second focus is the infrastructure. It is important to be able to take a bath at home and have the water pressure you need. It is important for you to be able to have a freeze and then be able to restore and recover from that. It is important for your infrastructure to be right because you can't be comfortable in your home without the right infrastructure. So public safety and infrastructure means everything. And those are my two focuses.
Gotcha. And I'll keep there's a follow-up to that question for all of you, and I'll stay with you out here on this one, Tracy. Is now that you've laid out those two priorities, Tracy, you first here. How will you make sure, what program specifically would you be pushing for if elected to city council? And again, Tracy, you first.
So the programs that I'll be pushing for, of course, with safety, safety is my baby. Stop the Violence 409 means everything. That's an organization that I came up with that's effective, that we help the community and bridge people that's already that lost focus in the community to get them back. Safety and raising the awareness in the community with safety is something that I want to do with our community. That means the education, partnering with them in the community and building relationships with the police department, where the city and the community to be able to trust them and to be able to be effective in having a safer community.
And how about the infrastructure programs? What specifically will you be pushing for on the infrastructure side of things?
So I'm really excited about the fact that we've got the grants, and grants are helping us in a major way with our infrastructure. The 1.5 million that we've just received, the 7.5 that we've just received. If we continue to focus on grants and getting those in, just like the 49 that we've requested, we'll be able to fix all the manholes, bring in sidewalks that we need, the lighting that we need in our city, speed bumps to reduce the accidents. And another thing that I would really like to see that goes on in our city is to be able to have the cyclist lane, so they'll be able to ride safely with their bicycles, the children and our citizens, to be able to have a safer community and to enjoy the leisure with safety.
Gotcha. Kimberly, you laid out your two priorities. How, if elected to council, will you see that those are taken care of and implemented in some way? What programs specifically would you be pushing for? Your microphone's off. I'm sorry, Kimberly. There you go. It's on now.
Okay. One of the things I'm very sincere about, one of my students just recently passed away on Main Street, and that street is very dark. And in order to attract and concentrate on our youth, we do have to concentrate on safety. That is very important. We are behind on that as a city. It's important that we have family-friendly and a family-friendly environment in this city. Some of the programs that we're doing already, that we're working on with the grants, That's very good, but we do need a grant writer to get more money to our city. We've lost a big tax base by losing carbide. This is why we need to improve our tax base, to grow our tax base by attracting businesses. How do we do that? We've got to have all hands on deck and work together. One way that we do that is that we have to have people that know what to do and how to do it, and the networks to do that. I have friends who sit on the Texas Workforce Commission to work with, and to also work with HGAC to get those funding. How do we get that? We have to work together as first of all, let me say this. District A is one piece of the puzzle. Whoever gets elected in this position has to be able to work with the other commissioners, with the other council persons on the council. And so everyone has to work together. So what I want to do, because as a teacher, and Ricky was my student, and it's very hard to lose a student because of poor lighting in the area and things of that nature. We have a lot of things that we have to do with the speed bumps, especially in District A, in the old part of District A. We need better lighting. So that's definitely something that we have to do. And again, we must improve our tax base so that our citizens won't have to deal with increased taxes year after year. So that's what I would like to do, is make sure that we participate with HGAC and participate and compete for monies where people will respect us on the statewide level and in the county. And right now, not everyone respects our city, and I want to make sure that they do that.
Gotcha. David, same question to you as well about how would you make sure your two top priorities are taken care of? Your mic is muted, David.
Like I said, my first priority is public safety and youth. I serve on a commission. I don't think a lot of people know about this because we first started this commission before the pandemic, and it kind of fell to the side. The Department of Justice came in and invited a lot of community leaders and a lot of police officials to start a pilot program. That pilot program is called SPCP. It's Strengthening Police and Community Partnerships Program. And what it does, it offers community partnerships with community leaders, with youth, law enforcement, where we all get together and we brainstorm and we put together these ideas of how we can make our community a safer place, and at the same time get along with each other with law enforcement and the community leaders and the youth in the community and everything like that. My good friend Mary Patrick is on the commission with me, and we're picking it back up again. And who would be more than to help out if I was the city councilman and on that board to help everybody out. And even if I don't make city council, I'm going to help out anyways, because that's what I do.
Gotcha. And Wayne, same question to you. You laid out your two priorities. How are you going to make sure those get taken care of if elected to council?
These are proposals. These are our perspectives that we want to come in and would like to see change. We do have to work with other council members in order for these proposals to be approved. But with the community development, I definitely would like to have programs where we have incentives for the Lamarck citizens who open businesses locally. I would like to partner with our organizations and nonprofits. We can have programs for our youth, and our seniors. Also, things that are already taking place is put together and develop a citizens accountability committee, committee like there is right now called CAT, and that is to call out things as they are. One of the things that I would like to explain or put out there is that because I am a resident in District A and I go through the same issues as everyone else that that my neighbors do, I understand firsthand about the streets. I understand about the lack of lighting in the area. I understand firsthand about how the road needs to be maintenance and paved. It hasn't been paved in decades. Trust me, tires get banged up in potholes. Our cars are feeling it every time we come home. in the nighttime. It's hard to see. We don't even know what street we live on if we didn't live there. In my community, in my neighborhood, I don't even have street signs. So we have a lot of, I would say, neglect that has been taking place in District A. But we have different owners, we call them churches. Why not partner with our religious organizations to help not only create policies that help guide the heart in our doctrine that we put out, but why not go out and have hands-on, able to go out in the community and create relationships that can help change the heart. This is a two-sided, two-way plan that we have to implement. We have to be not just showing up at a meeting once a month, but we have to be involved in the community on a daily basis. And this is what the citizens more in District A will receive from me as councilman.
And my apologies, folks. We're having a little bit of audio and some video hold up. The internet signal Wayne has is not as strong as so we'll bear with him as much as possible on that, Wayne. Hopefully we can get it boosted up a little bit more for you on your end there. Since most of you had mentioned public safety as a priority, the next question up here is, how would you rate the La-Marque Police Department's handling of crime issues in La-Marque? Would it be excellent, good, below average, or poor? And why that rating? And Wayne, since you wrapped up this last one, let me go ahead and go to you first to answer that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that it has been pretty poor. I think that we need new leadership at our police department. I think that we have some issues that are taking place that are a hot topic right now. I believe that even in our police officers need to be guardians. There needs to be some adjustments made and look at the police, how the policies are. We need to have policing that come out and do community service and get to know the residents in the area that they serve. I don't see that happening as much. Now, we have some good police officers on the La-Marque Police Department, and I believe that those officers should be recognized and applauded. But on the other hand, we have some officers who are not so good. And I believe that those need to be taken care of and reconciled. But I truly believe that we have leadership issues in our La-Marque Police Department, and I would like to see a new leadership here in the city of La-Marque.
Same question to you now, Kimberly. How would you rate the La-Marque Police Department's handling of crime issues in La-Marque? Excellent, good, below average, or poor, and why that rating?
La-Marque Citizens Academy. First of all, I believe it's below average because we don't have enough police officers, and our police officers are the worst paid in Galveston County. So you get what you pay for. Our officers are amazing. They're doing the best that they can with the limited funding that they have. But the reality of it is that they need more money and they need help. And so we do have some hot topics that we are dealing with now, but do we have great officers? Yes, we do. Do we have some things that need improvement? Of course. And that's one area that where all of us need to come together as a community, and we can fix it. And we're going to get past this situation. But the question is, why is it below average? Because they need help. They need better funding, and they need the citizens to support them so that they can do a better job. And I believe that they will when they have better support, better leadership, and more money to do a better job. We deserve the best in La-Marque. Our mayor has said that we will be the safest city in the state of Texas. And to do that, we have to have funding and we have to attract the best. We are the second fastest growing city in Galveston County. And because of that, we've got to invest more in our police department and support them and get rid of the ones who are not doing an adequate job to make sure that we are the best in the county and the safest city in Galveston County. And we will get there.
Tracy, same question to you. And I'm going to be doing a follow-up on this with each and one of you. You need to unmute your mic. Sorry, everyone check that every once in a while, so sorry about that. There you go, Tracy. Well, you're still muted. Sorry. There you go. Well, now it went back off again. There you go. Now you got it.
I would
Sorry.
rate our police department as fair, average. I believe that the police department is doing the best that they can with the amount of people that they have. If we reach out to them and ask them to do any of our community events, they do come out and they do serve our community. Their response time is where it needs to be. Do I think that there's room to grow where we can be the best police department? Absolutely. And with that, it comes with support. I believe our police department is average. If you're running on the police department with 5 and 8 people that's on staff, then that's what you're going to get. It's not the fault of the police department. It's the staffing. And it's something, and that's a city issue that has nothing to do with the police department staffing. I believe they do the best in what they can do with what they have.
Great. Thank you. David, you get to wrap up that first part of the question. I'm going to do a follow-up with everyone now.
All right, I'll rate the police department good. Anybody that lays their life on the line every single day, they're doing a good job in my book. We do need more. They are underpaid. They're understaffed. They're just stressed out. And that's why we all need to get together. The council, the mayor, the community. We know where these trouble spots are. We know where all this has come from. Everybody needs to get on board if we want a safe city and get involved. And we need to stand behind our police department and be there for them so we can do that.
And all of you had addressed at some point of Kimberly, you brought it up more in kind of a more pointed direction of needing support and funding there. How, as council members, will you get there? Because that has been a constant struggle given Lamarck's size, but it is growing more and more now. And I'll start with you, Kimberly, on that. Is that all right? It's one thing to say we need to give more funding. How does that priority happen, and how do you make it happen if on council, getting everyone on the same page there?
You have to be able to use the Houston-Galveston Area Council. They have amazing programs and grants that we can utilize to improve our funding. HGAC is one of the strongest and richest workforce development boards in the nation. And Pastor King is the president-elect who is right in our county of this new board. So there are some things that we need to tap into to be able to utilize to get funding for our city programs. The other thing is you can't say that our police force is good or even fair when their own union has a no confidence vote in our chief. So to my opponents, you need to do your research, because we have some problems in this area when it comes to our police. They're good people, but we've got some blind spots that we have to fix. How do we fix that? We need the best minds at the table to look at where we need to find the funding to get the best people here to protect us and to train the officers who are willing to stay and grow with us. These are just growing pains. Most of our cops don't live here. There's a lack of relationship, and we need to go back to community policing where they are the guardians of us and they know our children and respect our children. Policemen can do a lot to help grow a city and keep it safe. And this is just a weak spot. And I am determined, if I am the chosen one, to work with the policemen and do what we can to provide a safe place for them to go home to their families as well. But the reality of it is we are the worst paid. But I believe that we need to use the resources that we have. We do have a president-elect coming from the city of Dickinson who will be able to work with us to get those type of grant funding to help us supplement our budget. And that's what we're going to have to do until we can attract a better tax base for our city.
Before I go to Tracy on that, you had mentioned, Kimberly, about, one worse paid, but also getting Lamarck City policemen or police officers living in the city. Would you offer some type of incentive or approve that if voted to council as an added incentive to live in the city if you're an officer?
Of course, HUD has amazing programs for teachers and policemen where you can buy homes with incentives through HUD. I'm a former director of public housing. I've worked with HUD as director of public housing to do that. I know how to bring those programs to the city so that we can encourage and offer that incentive for policemen and teachers to live here and grow with us, to form relationships with our children in our city.
And Tracy's signal just dropped out. I was going to come to her next. Let me go ahead and go to you, David. If you unmute your microphone there, we'll keep you up on screen here with that. Obviously, you know, everyone wants to have the best police force around, and they are, the statistics show, underpaid compared to those around. It's being worked on. How would you address that if elected? And then also, too, the incentive to bring officers that actually live in the community, which research has shown increases that community policing awareness as well.
You know, recruit in the neighborhood. If we got some young adults that are going to the College of the Mainland or to Galveston College for the academy, recruit within. They live in our community. So as a city council, we can recruit within to get people who live in the area, who are from the area, to work in the area. Another thing is one thing that we can do, continue to do. There was an Operation Whitewash not too long ago. They went through these streets and they cleaned a lot of that up. And we got help from the U.S. Marshals. We got help from Galveston County Sheriff's Office. We got help from Lamar. We got help from all around. Let's keep that going. Let's not stop. Let's keep pushing that. That's what will get us safe. That's what will help out our local Lamarck police officers to get a handle on this, so we can make it a better place, make it a safer place to live. I would really zero in on that. That was a very successful operation, and I would really zero in on that to keep that going, that strategy, to keep going, pushing on it.
David, let me ask you as a follow-up to that. That was in some ways a feel of what used to be called the old narcotics task force. That was actually federal dollars and state dollars as subsidized. When that federal and state funding went away, however, those task force went away. Let's just say that there's no funding for that coming either through HGAC, as Kimberly had pointed out, or the federal state government. Would you then support to pay that extra for Lamar to be part of a task force? If the other cities joined in on that and they share.
Of course. Oh, yes, most definitely.
Tracy, I was going to go back, and I'm glad we have you back on. I know we lost signal there for a second, but the same question as a follow-up to you here on that, Tracy, let me make sure we unmute your microphone, is how do you make that work for police to get them the money and support, not only for personnel? And I did ask both Kimberly about this question as well. Would you put an incentive in for extra funding for those officers that choose to live in the city limits of Lamar?
I feel that the officers, we need to find the funding for them and do whatever we can, because just like we need police, then they need our support as well. And so finding that money that we need for the budgets to help the police officer or to get more officers in our city, that is a priority. That is something that I believe that we have to figure it out and make a way, because staffing our police will have us have a safer community. And with a safer community and more police, then we'll have a good relationship. I think that there's a disconnect.
Wayne, same follow-up. Oh, go ahead, Tracy. Sorry.
Okay.
Did you have something else you wanted to say?
Yes. And building that relationship with them, because we have to have that connection, and where we believe we'll be able to help one another. And if we feel like that we have a poor police department, then it's up to us to do something about it. What are we going to do to build it? What are we going to do to fix that? We need our police just like they need us.
Wayne, same question to you as a follow-up on that is how to make these things happen if elected to council. Because you had said you rated the department as poor.
Well,
how would you get it up to that higher level?
I would rate it as very poor, because we have our police department, they don't respond properly in some areas, in some instances. And I think that even sometimes there's an abuse of force And I think it's because of lack of knowing the culture of the city that they serve. One of the ways I know that we can go and find the funding is let's go back and look at the city budget. Let's see exactly where we're spending our money. Let's see where the taxpayer dollars are going. Let's look at our administration across the board and see what is necessary and what's not. Some of these funds could be allocated and moved around in order to have incentives for police officers in the community. I think that it would be a difference in the field if in the whole approach of policing, if they lived in a community that they serve, that they would be guardians in that community. They would have relationships with their neighbors. Like I said again, I think that there needs to be a community service that the police can have in a direct area that they patrol, so that they'll know the people. They'll have understanding on how to interact with them. And I think that would change the whole perspective on how things are taking place in our city. You have to understand, I've been protesting and moving and every February of last year, due to the actions of our Lamarck Police Department and the administration that allows such things to happen. We need to take a real-time approach and look at it all and see how we can evaluate to not only make this the best place for our citizens, but also have their relationship with the police officers. There's a lot of ways that we can go about doing that. And looking forward to start implementing those ideas and proposals before council so that we can collectively and get our police department to be one of the safest police departments, responsive police departments, but also one of the most the best police department that has interactions with the community that they serve. I believe that can happen. I believe that time is now.
Gotcha. Next question up, and this will be the last police department question. If it'll likely be this summer before a Galveston grand jury hears the case of the officer-involved shooting that happened on December 9th. Where do you stand on how the police department and the city has handled this case? Obviously, knowing that it's under investigation. David, I'll start with you with your answer to that question, and make sure you turn on your mic, please, sir.
Well, where I stand is everybody's. We just got to let everything play out. How the police has handled the case, I believe there could be more transparency from the beginning. I hope that we learn from all this, and it's just a tragedy. And my condolences to Joshua's Feast family. I've been my nephew, who was like my son. He lost his life to the streets. He died of an overdose, and I know how it is to lose a young person that's young, and it's just one of the hardest things that can happen. And just so many things happen, and it's just a real hard issue. And I really want to make it my passion to save our young adults and help them and be there for them and be there for the families, not just a little bit after this happens, but for a long time. We can help each other out with these so it doesn't happen to somebody else.
Gotcha. Wayne, same question to you.
Well, I believe that what took place with Joshua Feast was awful. I believe that from what I saw in the video, it was evident what happened. I think that, of course, the Galveston County Sheriff's Department and the Galveston County DA are investigating the case. But from a city perspective, if possible, if can be, maybe Officer Santos should have been let go. I think this for our relationship with our community, and we all got eyes, we all see, we all know what took place. I think that it would have been a bold move to stand up and say, we're going to stand up for our citizens, and Santos got to go. And I would have immediately terminated him if it was within my power. That's what I would have.
And obviously, council doesn't have personnel decision authorities on that. But let me ask, just so we can clarify, you say we all know what we saw. Just different people have different perspective. What did you see that happened there?
Well, from our perspective, from my perspective, it looked as though he was the young man was shot was shot in a manner that wasn't consistent with what we call protocol. So I think that would have been something that I would have been a little bit more pressed on, making sure the right things are done for our citizens and community.
Gotcha. Kimberly, same question to you.
TJ, first of all, Santos should have never been hired to begin with from Galveston, knowing the situation that he was involved with in Galveston, and that has to do with some of the previous administration that he was hired from. That Joshua Feast should have never occurred. But our city is in limbo because of our tight police union contract. Our mayor, our city manager, they can't do anything until the Sheriff Toussaint, finishes his report. So as the mayor and the city council, their hands are tied. All of us, our hands are tied until the sheriff completes his report. It's amazing to me that you can process the scene in 3 days, and now it's been over 120 days, and we still don't have a report from the county. And so being a part of city government, you have to understand protocol, and you have to understand the rules. And so our city can't fire him because it would be against protocol and against the law. So our city is doing the best they can right now. Our mayor is following the law, and the protocol says we have to wait. The city has to wait before they make a decision. And so that it lies at the footsteps of the Galveston County Courthouse. And so, and then I can answer that question fully when they move after they see the report. And then we can answer your question, TJ, how did they handle it? Gotcha. But until that time, we can't.
Gotcha. Tracy, same question to you.
Yeah, the situation is hurtful. I mean, I have a son. I couldn't even watch the whole video. I watched some of it, and it was just too much for me. I'm waiting to see what happens. Just the waiting itself already hurts me, for the family, for the mother, and just the situation just really just hurts me, period. That happened in our city, and that it happened, period. I want to see how it plays out. I've been praying and see where God decides to handle this thing. But this is something that really works my emotion, something that's hurtful that happened in our community. And I'm just waiting to see how this thing is going to play out there.
Gotcha. Thank you all for that. Next question up, we're going to switch over now talking about how City Hall is handled. And I will start with you on this one, David. How would you rate Lamarck government's city management? That's overall, all top department heads, including the city manager. Excellent, good, below average, or poor, and why that rating? So you up first, David.
I would rate it good. We have an interim mayor in, and he's doing a great job from just jumping in there. He's been the mayor, been with the mayor for years and been on the city council for years, but he just jumped in there. He jumped in some situations, and they're gelling together, and they're doing the best that they can right now. And I feel with any one of us candidates that get in there, we're just going to add to it and bring it to another level. As far as all the businesses that are coming in, yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job. We got some great businesses here, and there's a lot of good things that are going to happen. So I rate them good.
All right, and I know you talked about the mayor, but obviously that's an elected position. This is more of a question about those who work for the city overall.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to make sure that same rating stays for you there.
Yeah, the same rating. I'll give them the same rating.
Got you. Wayne, how about you?
Personally, I believe that our city administration is pretty poor. I think that there's a lot of things that if our city administration was doing what they should have do for all citizens of Lamarck, we wouldn't have our safety issues that we have, especially in District A. I believe that we would have had our streets paved by now. I think that we need to, like I said, we have 3 city managers right now for a city of what, 20,000 people, and our response time is still slow. We still don't have what we need in our community. I think that instead of having 3 city managers, maybe we should have hired more people to go around and fill up potholes. Maybe we should have had allocated those funds in other areas that could have benefited the citizens that pay taxes in our area. So from that perspective, I believe that it can definitely improve tremendously.
Gotcha. Tracy, same question to you.
I believe that we have a good city management. I like the idea of having 3 city managers. They can divide and conquer. One city manager takes care of one thing, another one takes care of public works, and then we have the other city manager that takes care of a focus that we have in the community, which is safety. They hired a new city manager that has a ton of experience that he's bringing to the table, and who's also been the outreach in our community. So I really think that it was a good idea to bring in an extra city manager, especially when we are at our highest with crime. That new city manager that came in has done wonders already in here. And with both of the city managers, they're still fairly new under the 3 years. And so giving it time and seeing where we are right now, we have some really good city managers.
And just to kind of clarify on that, assistant city managers, Team Jackson's the city manager, then the 2 assistant city managers, that the structure he has put together, just so anyone clarify on that. Kimberly, how about you rating the city administration?
I think that our city is at a crossroads. Let me say that. I think our new city manager is experiencing some growing pains as he is learning our city. I'm excited about the brain power, though, that's there with Charlene and also with David and Tink. I think I want to kind of wait on that. I wouldn't say it's below average or poor, but I think that we can get to excellent because we have 3 city managers because of Charlene's experience. She's been here. She knows the community. David has a wealth of background. He's very intelligent and his military experience. And of course, with Tink as well. I mean, we have to be excellent with that, right? So I do think that with that structure, we need to be excellent. But I would say we're at a good with that. I'm going to give them some time because I think that they just got there. That whole structure is still new, and so we're still on the table. But I have hope. I think right now we're at a pivotal place, at a crossroad. You know, I have where we're talking about Lamarck, the land of possibilities, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what this new structure can do, and what they can bring to our citizens.
Yeah, we should point out it's kind of a fairly new setup, and in reality, all 3 have been city managers in one capacity or another somewhere. Charlene actually was the acting city manager for a while. David Jordan, who just came in as the assistant city manager for public safety, had been a city manager elsewhere in Texas and in a neighboring city to where Tink was before coming in too. So they all have that experience, and we actually have a profile coming on David Jordan here pretty soon too on I-45 now. Just a free plug for us on that to go in. All of y'all mentioned infrastructure at some point in this, and even as Lamarck sees record expansion to its west side, west of 45, much of what is considered the original city, that's the east of I-45, is in need of infrastructure improvements. What are your big priorities there right now? And I'll start with you on this one, Kimberly.
Oh my goodness. You know, I'm a Lamarck school teacher, so we want to basically grow Lamarck proper and grow our school district for Lamarck Middle School, Lamarck High School, and part of East Lamarck is our school district, and we want to be at the top of our game. So that is definitely a priority for District 8, is to restore those neighborhoods on Edgar Street, Catherine Westwood, and to bring quality businesses back to those areas. We have got to bring families back. I get real excited talking about economic development. I talk to Alex Getty on the regular about, hey, how many lots have been sold. And one of the things that he told me that right before COVID, between December, right before 2019 and February, that over 77 lots were sold in Lamarck. So we are a growing city. I want you to know Lamarck is not dead. We are alive. And so we want to encourage people to buy lots. Texas City ISD, they are also selling lots as well that we can buy and put a community center on the east side of Lamarck for our children to be safe. And when we have freezes and things of that nature, we have places where people can go and feel safe. And we don't have those safe harbors in our city. We want to make sure that we have those places where we can send our citizens to. So I definitely believe in restoration. I believe in those grants that you can get for urban restoration in our cities. Lighting, we need to stop the dumping in District A that happens all the time. That needs to cease. And basically right now there's an amazing historic infrastructure that is happening in Galveston County because of Juneteenth and because of the tourism dollars. $25 million pass Lamarck every day going to Galveston, and we definitely need to capture that market. But we need to look at the history. There's so much Lamarck brings. Buttermilk Station. I'm a history teacher, so I love talking about history and government and telling people about the uniqueness that Lamarck brings. And we can do that in our older development. So I definitely would like to work with District A and let's do some restoration and talk about the history and bring it back alive and bring some pride back into our city. And I think that we can definitely do that. So that would definitely be my priorities, is to grow east side of Lamarck proper so we can make sure that we can rebuild that great heritage for our schools. One of our schools in our district, particularly Lamarck High School, Lamarck Middle School, and Lamarck, our two Lamarck elementaries as well.
Before I go to Tracy for that same question, I would think that the new campuses being built are going to help with some of that along the way as well.
Yes, we're excited. Yes, they're going to be beautiful.
Yeah, they are going up and well. Tracy, same question to you about infrastructures within. Some people call it Old Lamarck or the central part of Lamarck. What are your infrastructure priorities for that area? Which is a lot of it is going to be in the district.
So infrastructure is my baby. I'm on the Economic Development Board in Lamarck, and I'm also a business owner. I own Small Event Hall downtown Lamarck. And me being branded in Lamarck, and I call it branded because I graduated from Lamarck, my kids graduated from Lamarck. I understand the history of Lamarck. I understand where we are right now, Lamarck, and I understand where we're going. Building the infrastructure is a focus because once we start bringing more businesses in our economic development, as soon as we start bringing more things into our community, people will come in and be part of our community. I'm breaking up. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm echoing.
Yeah, no, we hear you. Yeah.
Okay. And so building our infrastructure is everything as a priority because once that is built, and people will like to come in and it will be comfortable. Cars won't be torn up. People won't be driving around in the dark. Sidewalks for kids will be able to go out and play and be able to ride their bikes. So our infrastructure is very important. Our economic development is very important as well too. Being in downtown Lamarck, we used to have Fairman Square back then, and bringing all those things back will bring money into our economy. And so that is a focus. That is something that, as your councilwoman, that I will get dialed into and make sure that it happens and bring our old culture back along with the new culture that we deserve to have.
Gotcha. And just so that everyone knows, so we're going to stay on this question for a little bit. I've already informed the mayoral candidates we're going to be running a little bit long, so we're going to go about 8:15 before we get into y'all's final statements. We're having all four of y'all giving some really good answers here for the voters. We're seeing that. Wayne, let me go to you. The same question about infrastructure needs on the east side of the city. That's that kind of old heart center. A lot of it in District A.
Well, I live there. It's not an area that I drive by and pass it. It's not an area that I pass through on my way home. That area is my home. I know that I pay taxes in the area. In fact, even have family ties from a genealogy perspective in this particular region since the 1800s. So we talk about the history of Lamarck. I know that my family has been a staple in this community, one of the founding families from the conception of Lamarck from day one. Lamarck was established in 1867. We were here. So I just want that out. So I'm not just a person running to be in District A. I'm also a constituent that can vote for myself in District A because I live there. There are so many things that need to take place that have not been taking place. Not saying that the previous candidate did not implement a lot of great things or did not fight for District A, because I know that there was some fights there, but he had to have the votes in order to take care of the proposals that he set forth. But my thing is to build off of what has already begun. Build off the code enforcement. Build off of the slumlord ordinances that we have. I believe that we need to definitely take care of our lighting in our area. Our streets are terrible. Our water pressure is bad. Now, we definitely can gather different proposals from this grants that come on. Let's see how this money will be allocated. I would love to have paved streets all through District A. Why is it that the newer developments are being taken care of in a very strategic manner, but we want to take care of our older developments? We want to take care of the heart of Lamarck, and that's District A. And not only am I a candidate, but I'm also a constituent. I am in the district. I live in the district. I pay taxes in the district. I don't pass by on my way home. I go there to go home. So we'll be fighting from that perspective.
And I'm going to come back on that question a little bit. It's something that Wayne brought up there about infrastructure improvements here in a little more detail. But first, let me get to you, David, on that same question about focusing on the needs on the east side of Lamarck for infrastructure.
Great question, TJ. I knew a long time ago about the I-45 expansion before we started seeing it starting with the visual. With my fellow board of directors at Coastal Community Federal Credit Union, we chose that spot in Lamarck to build. But one thing that I worried about, and one thing that I come from the inner cities, I come from the old part of town, and one thing that I worried about was the other side. Me and my wife, we go to Food Right every Sunday to get our groceries, and we drive down there, and I look at that old town, and I don't look at it as run down. I look at it as potential. When I say potential, we could have, everybody wants that old town feeling, that nostalgia feeling. We could sell that down there. That's the perfect spot to do that. We can get the people who live on the new side and get them to go down there for great barbecue, great coffee shops, and everything. So what's happening on that other side, like it or not, is gentrification. Them lots are going for a lot of money, and they're building houses on them lots for a lot of money. And I don't want the people that were born and raised, the families that have been there for generations, to be moved out of the area. I want them to stay. So we have to get them involved with these programs so that gentrification doesn't happen.
And going to what Wayne had talked about of, why streets don't get paved and the light. Obviously, when new subdivisions come in, that's put into the budget to put in the streets and everything else. And then sometimes there's a mud district along with that. But as many grants may be in the world, when it really takes to get money to fix streets, to put in new sewer lines and everything else, it almost always takes some type of bond referendum to do so, particularly in a city the size of Lamarck, in which you don't have that surplus like the city of Texas City is able to always kind of over the years be able to pay as they go. So let me just kind of quick round robin everyone. Wayne, you first, then Kimberly, and then Tracy, then David. Would you support for infrastructure in the internal city, prioritizing for street improvements and sewer improvements, some sort of bond referendum floating it, say, in the next 3 to 5 years? Wayne, you first.
Well, I believe that we should take a look at our budget and how it's allocated from the grants that we have and what we have available to us. As far as bonding, getting bonds and whatnot for the city, I believe that is something that can be constituents that we buy into something beneficial for us as residents there, then I wouldn't take off of the off of the table. We need our infrastructure taken care of, and however we can go about getting that done, I think that we'll do that. We'll bring things to the table, and as a council, look at it all. It won't just be a decision for myself, but as a council, what's best for the city of Lamarck and the best way that we can do it to benefit that area. That's the way that we'll go. It'll be a joint decision, and our constituents, for us to move forward with that type of proposal.
Same question to you, Kimberly. Would you be in favor of once you've looked at grants and everything else? That's great to get the grant you got for the manhole covers, for example, the city got here recently and the like. But when it comes to those really big infrastructure projects, that's almost always a bond vote. They'll ask the taxpayers to pay a little bit more on their property tax to do it. Would you support such a proposal, say in the next 3 to 5 years?
Let me say this: as a business owner, I hate new taxes, and as a homeowner,
Yeah.
I mean, I do. But I also know for Lamarck to become competitive, to compete with cities like Lake City, who has over 135,000 people, and people flock there, and we've lost so many families to them because of their infrastructure. It's so nice and pretty. Yes, I would be willing to look at it, but I would definitely listen to District A to see what they want to do first. But in order to, for us, we're an older city. We've been here a lot longer, but to compete, we've got to look at what we need to do to compete. And a lot of people have left Lamarck because of issues with infrastructure and water pressure. And I'm hoping after this freeze and what happened with that has woken us all up to know that if we're going to attract people, we have to be competitive. But I will definitely listen to District A and do a survey and see what they would like to do before we consider raising taxes.
All right. And Tracy, glad to have you back on there. We lose you every once in a while, but go ahead. Yeah, the same question to you. Would you be looking at the possibility? Obviously, these big projects take bond money a lot of times. Would you support putting on the ballot maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, if elected to council, a bond referendum for infrastructure needs, mainly in the center part, the main part, District A in particular of Lamarck?
Well, I would definitely take a look at it. One thing about being on council, it's a team effort with being on council, and so looking at the priorities of our city at work, District A is very important to me, but at the same time, being on council, it is important for whatever the needs is for our city as a whole. So I would definitely look at it and consider it. And my platform, infrastructure is my baby, because if you're not comfortable at home, then you're not going to want to be there.
Right. David, same question to you.
Yes, I would be I would definitely look at it carefully. I would make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and it went to the central part of Lamarck, most definitely, because that's the heart of Lamarck. That's the foundation. And yeah, of course I'd be in it, but I would make sure that it would make sense, and then I would be for it.
Kind of on the same line here, and Wayne, I'm going to go with you on first one because now I'm going to limit you to one though, because here, if there's one roadway you would replace in Lamarck, which one would it be and why? So Wayne, you're up first.
Oh wow! I was so.
Notice I said one. I can never this list go on and on and on. I know.
I mean, it's every street around the whole Rising Star Cemetery area. You have Rosalie, you have Albert, you have Kansas, you have Johnson Street, you have Stewart, you have Boss. It goes on and on. You have Stonewall, Jackson, all these streets. I mean, we are equally hurting. So I think that, of course, I'm going to say, because one thing my mom told me, she said, make sure you take my street, baby. So the thing about it is that I was over Edgar Street just to make mom happy, you know.
Gotcha.
But
Fair
it's
enough.
so
Fair
common
enough. I
throughout
got
our
you.
community.
Yeah. Fair enough. Tracy, how about you? If there's one, and I'll let it expand a little bit. One area specifically, kind of like a part of town that may have several roads that go into it. What would be the one you'd pick? One road that you think needs to have to get done to make sure
Right
life
next
is
to
better.
the house. Nashby. I would definitely replace Nashby. Every time I drive down and back about my driveway, about to tear up my car and need new shocks. Nashby would definitely be it.
Yeah, that I can attest to that one as well. David, how about you?
My number one priority would be where Ricky Rojas lost his life. My condolences to his family. And I read that story. That kid's a hero. My number one priority would be light up that street on Main Street, make it bright, and even put up a little memorial of him over there. That would be my number one priority, Main Street.
Yeah, folks who may not be familiar with the story, it's a young man on a foggy and dark night on Main Street pushed a friend out of the way, and he was hit and killed on Main Street.
True hero.
And then not long after that, another child hit in a hit and run incident there. That was just tragedy. Kimberly, for you, same question.
Definitely that Edgar, Nashby, that whole area right there, right before you get to McKinney Church, because the lighting right there is very bad. There's a lot of activity that happens. And I think if you fix the infrastructure there and add the proper lighting, the 21st century lighting with the LED lighting, that would stop a lot of that activity that we see there in that area where it's dark. So in that I would do the road, the paving, as well as the lighting and the street signs that's missing.
Gotcha. We're getting to we can kind of speed up on these. As I said, I wanted to get to 8:15 with some Q&A and then give you all a chance to wrap up with your final thoughts on that. But obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, Keith Bell has been in this seat for Councilman District A for a long time. Let me start with you, Tracy. Explain how your leadership style would differ from Keith Bell.
So those of you that know me, I am very involved in our community. I've served on maybe 5 or 6 boards. I'm involved. I'm just deeply involved with our community. There's not a board that I'm not on. Cleaning in our board in our city, just taking the time and being part of the solution. I am different because I am very hands-on. I understand what's going on in our city. I act first in the city. I'll go in first. I'm not scared to get in and roll my sleeves up and do what I need to do. But at the same time, I'm very knowledgeable about what's going on in our city because I'm very experienced in it. In my role, I realize that there's so many things that I do in our community, but in order to do more for our community, I need to be in place. So I'm asking for your vote.
Gotcha. Kimberly Yancey, same question to you.
How will my leadership style differ from Keith Bell? Because he served that for 17 years and in District A. First of all, I have great respect for our current mayor. My leadership style is about integrity, telling the truth, transparency, and research and data and best practices, making sure that we bring the best programming and finding out solutions. People know me for being a data-driven, looking at the problems and making sure that we have a definite framework of how to get things done and a deadline. I believe in projects. So I believe my leadership style would definitely deal with that. And then bringing the people to the table and hearing from them. As an educator, I believe that sometimes your students, your people, your constituents have the best vision for what needs to happen. Those grassroots people, the people that are there every day, every night, they know. But I do believe in bringing the data to the table. What I bring to the table is that I've served in many different capacities. I was a finalist for Citizen of the Year. Last year, one of the top 20 finalists. People know me as a mover and a shaker in the community. I'm trustworthy. and I do what I say that I'm going to do. And I love Lamarck, and I love people, and I'm ready to serve.
Gotcha. David, same question to you.
Okay, well, Keith Bell's been here all his life. He's done a lot for the community, and I believe with me complimenting him from being here all his life, I've been here for 19 years, and I'm the fresh eyes from the outside. I see things differently. I see future. I see good things in everything, and I feel that I could compliment the Keith Bell and the current council by just helping them, gelling with everybody, and at the same time, if there's something not right, calling them on it. I feel all boards, all councils, everything, we're family, and as a family member, I call my other family members if they're doing something wrong, and I expect them to do the same to me.
Gotcha. Same question to you, Wayne.
How can I say? I wouldn't. The way that I would be have different leadership style than Keith Bell is to be Wayne Hopgood, to be genuine and true to myself, to be genuine and true to what I believe in, to stand on my convictions, to do things with from a biblical perspective. I understand that what all is taking place because I'm going through it. Keith Bell, I thought he did his due diligence, but he was Keith Bell. I can just be Wayne Hopgood. I think that don't even want to compare myself with anyone. Just be true to myself and the reason and purpose why I'm running for District 8.
And I do appreciate all y'all tonight. This is going to be our final question of the night before we get to your closing statements. And there are many programs within the city that lack kind of the wide participation. You get in there, get community. Y'all have all touched on this one way or another, getting residents more involved and getting input from them. So let me ask you specifically, instead, I know the question says there are many programs within the city lack participation, but what would you do to get more residents involved? Give me something specifically you will do if elected to get more people involved in city activities, no matter what it is. And I'll start with you on this one, Wayne.
Well, one of the things I would do is what I've been doing as far as canvassing and whatnot. Being able to go to the community, speak directly with the students in the area, giving them a community buy-in, not coming in telling them how I'm going to fix whatever their issues are, but being an ear that will hear what their issues are and partner with them to make those things come to pass. Us as city council, whatever we are in the city council or elected position or city government, we have a bigger voice, a bigger platform. True, but the real work comes from the community itself. By allowing myself to partner with our community, with our nonprofits, with our religious organizations to help strengthen where they are weak, to come in and to be a servant for those that are already in leadership, to help them push the agenda that they have been trying to do. Not coming in to try and reinvent the wheel, not coming in trying to create a new program, but help enforcing the ones that we have. And that's how I would begin.
Gotcha. David, same question to you, sir.
The youth. What I would really zero in is on youth programs, getting the community involved. Let's bring back the Boys and Girls Club. Let's get big brothers and sisters involved. And let's get mental illness awareness involved. And the most important thing, one thing that I will bring is the strengthening police and community partnership from the Department of Justice. I am on that council, and I will be like I said, elected or not, I'm going to bring that to Lamarck, and I'm going to be a representative for Lamarck on that, because I believe that's the key that will help this city. But yeah, it's the youth. See, when a youth it starts at 8 years old, we got to get into them schools and we got to talk with them. We have to have involvement with these kids. They get this anger, and then it turns into 12-year-olds. They start hanging out with their friends, and they'll do anything for each other. And then there's the drugs, and then alcohol, and then prison, and it just, we have to stop it at 8 years old, that 8 to 12-year-old age limit. And I want to zero in on the age with the schools, with the Boys and Girls Clubs, with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and also zero in on mental illness, because everybody needs to be educated on mental illness.
Gotcha. Kimberly, same question to you, man.
I think we're living in a very unique society where people are having a hard time connecting. And so even for cities, we need to utilize technology and the game of optimization and knowing how to reach new families. Once they get here, we don't have a Welcome to Lamarck new packet for our families. We definitely need to do that. Reaching out to our school districts, because we are a unique city. We have several different school districts within our city. So, of course, as a council member, I would want to have relationships with all of the different school districts. But again, using social media, technology, and knowing how to optimize that and getting in touch with families. And also our community policing, using our policemen as the ambassadors for our city, using our commissioners that we have to meet some of our new members. There's a program in one city that I won't go into great detail, but some of the commissioners actually go out once a quarter and meet some of the new members. They go knock on the door and introduce themselves, say, "Hi, I'm Commissioner so-and-so. I serve on this board. We just want to welcome you to our city." Wouldn't that be amazing if that's something that we did here to connect with some of our residents? And so technology, get in touch with our schools, our churches, and also making sure that our commissioners and our policemen, firemen, become ambassadors and welcome our new families and the new family package as well.
Gotcha. Tracy, the same question to you.
So one of the clubs that I think that it's been around for a long time is the Lions Club. The Lions Club, there's nothing that they miss out on. They're always involved in everything. And I believe that that's something that I don't ever want to see go away or die. The Lions Club is always in the mix of anything that's with the holidays. They're in the mix of anything that's going on when someone needs a hand. They're always there. And I think that that organization is amazing. I think that we need to keep it going, keep building it, because it's something that I don't want to see die. The Lions Club is something that I hold dear to my heart. Crime Stoppers organization. I think people need to raise the awareness to know that they can come and be part of that. They have a banquet every month. And before COVID, it was growing. It was something that was being going on inside the church that people would come and attend. Those two organizations are something that's been around forever, and I would like to see that continue to grow.
Thank you all for being a part of this here tonight. We had a good number of viewers here tonight, too, and they have been active in the comment section throughout the night. All of y'all have good cheering clubs. I will tell you that much as we watch here tonight. As we wrap up things, those of you watching, stay tuned. We will have the mayoral forum here just a little bit. Both Key Bell and Rashida Robinson, who texted us earlier, she is going to be taking part of this as well. So that is coming up in just a few minutes after we give everyone a chance to wrap up this. This reminder to you, though, folks, coming up tomorrow night in partnership with the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce, Wednesday, 7 p.m. The Texas City ISD at-large candidates, Mike Matrenga and Dr. Nelson Juarez. Russell Washington, I will say he's excused from this. It's his anniversary tomorrow night. When we scheduled this up, obviously we didn't realize that. He texted us, and he said he'd been debating it for a while, and he was really concerned about that because, and I don't blame him here, he had to make a choice between being in the forum or going out to dinner with his wife, and I think he made the right choice in making sure he treats his wife the right way. So we'll give him a hall pass on that one. So that is coming up tomorrow night here. Then on Thursday evening, in partnership with the League City Regional Chamber of Commerce, we're going to be having again another forum, and this one is for the Clear Creek ISD candidates. The position 5 candidates come on with us at 5:00, and then the at-large candidates come on with us at 6:00. Glenn Friedman again will be our moderator of that coming up on Thursday evening. So again, candidates, as we talked about beforehand, each of you had picked out your number to be able to go up there. But before we go, I wanted Paige Michelle, the president of the Texas Lamarck Chamber of Commerce, to give a final thought before we give the candidates their last say.
I want to thank everyone for being part of the forum tonight and all of your great ideas and your involvement and your passion. Let it just spread throughout the community.
Great. Thank you, Paige. We appreciate it. And I'll see you in just a few minutes over on the mayoral forum here in just a little while. So as we said, we went and we had a random number pick. Those who got close got to pick to go where they'll go. First up will be David, followed by Kimberly Yancey, followed by Tracy Steen, then Wayne Hobgood. You have up to 3 minutes. Again, the rule here is focus on your campaign only. No mention or any negative attacks against, even side swipes against your opponent. So, David, you're up first, please, sir.
My name is David James Holman. By God's grace and mercy, I'm here today running for District A. Me and my wife came to Galveston County, Texas, 19 years ago with absolutely nothing. We were leaving alcoholism, drug addiction, and all of that. Galveston County took us in, and we were able to be very successful through our children. We are a Navy family. My son's a chief petty officer in the United States Navy. We're an Aggie family. My son Ario graduated from Texas A&M College Station as an engineer. We're a College of the Mainland family. My daughter Angelina Holman, she graduated from the College of the Mainland with her cosmetology degree. By coming from nothing and doing nothing, when we had nothing, we were taken in by the Children's Center, Inc. Today, I'm the chairman of the board of the Children's Center, Inc. I look at it as it's not about me. It's about helping others. It's about paying it forward. It's about helping that kid who doesn't have a father or maybe a mother who's out there alone, mentoring them, helping them have a good life. And then I get that phone call years later. It says, Uncle David, geez, you help me. You know, I serve on the chairman of chairman of the board for the Children's Center, which I've been helping out for years, raising money, helping youth, doing everything over there. Also serve as the board of directors at Coastal Community Federal Credit Union. We built a brand new branch in Lamarck. That first exit, I knew a long time ago when we built that branch how successful it would be, because Lamarck has the most exits on I-45 south of Houston. We just want to, as a family, it's just not me. It's my wife, Gina, who I've been with since she's been 14 and I've been 15. It's my sons. It's my daughter. It's everybody helps me. I don't not know one thing. I'm about getting information from everybody and doing the best thing for everybody. I've raised a lot of money for schools through the Drive One for Your School programs. We bought our home in Lamarck here 8 years ago in Delaney Cove when people were running from here. They didn't want to buy the home because of the school system. I had a vision, and I knew there was just too much land, too much going on for it not to succeed. And today it's succeeding. So I just, I'm here to pay it forward. I'm here to help others. And I want what's best for my family. And I want what's best for people around me, and I want what's best for my city. That's why I'm running. I live in District A. I pay tax. I don't mind paying taxes. I don't mind paying my share. I pay taxes in District A. I'm here to help law enforcement, and I'm here.
Sorry about that, Dave. That was your time on there.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Next up, Kimberly Yancey. You get your shot now, up to 3 minutes to give your final pitch to the voters.
Hi, Lamarck. My name is Kimberly Yancey, and I am so glad to be here. We are a city, a land of possibilities, and I would love to represent District A. Who am I? I'm a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin with a degree in government. I have served as Director of Public Housing. I have served as a state intern with Representative Al Edwards. I've served as a teacher since 2004. I've served at all three levels of government, for HUD, for the state, and for the local classroom. I'm excited about being here in Lamarck. I'm a mother of four. I've been married for 26 years. I'm a pastor's wife. I'm a community mover and shaker. I am a writer and best-selling author. I love children. I have been living in Galveston County now for about 22 years. I grew up in the Dickinson-Clear Lake area, fell in love with a man from Lamarck, and we came and settled here. We have been leaders in the community since the age of 24. My husband and I have won countless awards, and we have made our home here. I have 3 children in college and a college graduate. We are excited about being here in Lamarck. We have served at the New Hope Bible Church, and now we serve at the New Vision Church as well. So I am excited. I want to bring everything that I have, everything that I've worked for to the table to help the city of Lamarck. We are at a crossroads. This is where we can become that city that everyone wants us to be, where we can fix the infrastructure, we can fix the water pressure, and most of all, we can help the children of Lamarck. But we have to make sure that we have people that are capable of doing that have the networks. I've worked with TWC as a Twitch trainer. I have those networks. I know how to use those government things. I went to school for government, but most importantly, I love people and I have a passion for service. I have a passion for wanting to do what's best for my community, and anyone will tell you that. But the time is now to get the right person there. We have an amazing opportunity to do something for our city to make us excellent. Everyone is there, and I believe that I am that missing piece. One thing that I want to say, that a vote for Kimberly Yancey means that you'll never have to walk alone again, and you'll never feel alone, District A. We will make it happen. And if we can't make it happen, we'll find out why, and we'll find the solutions if we have to on our own. But listen, as I leave you tonight, I do ask that you pray for our city. We have a lot of things that we have to do in the next week. Next week is early voting. Please make sure you vote. Don't stay at home. The last day to vote is May 1st. This race is too important to.
And sorry, that's time, Kimberly. So I had to do the same with you there. So appreciate your time on that one. Next up, Tracy, we got you back just in time as well. Tracy Steens, up to 3 minutes for you, ma'am.
I am Tracy Steens, and I am your candidate. I am the hardest working candidate there is. I care about Lamarck. I'm passionate about Lamarck. I'm passionate about our people in Lamarck. I care about community. I grew up in Lamarck, and I remember how it was. I see where we are now, and I know where we're going. I have a lot of experience. I own an event hall in Lamarck. I've been a business owner for 8 years in Lamarck. Lamarck is my passion. I understand the things that's going on in our community, and I want more for our community. I want better for our community, and we can. I want unity in our community. I see people. I care about people, and I have passion for people. For me running for office, we deserve more, and we can get more. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a grandmother of 2. I have a degree in computer technology. I have the experience from 14 years senior manager from Walmart Corporation, from remodeling, from traveling the world, remodels, revamps, loss prevention, customer service, HR. I am your experienced candidate. So I am asking for your vote. Visit my website at tracysteensforcouncil.com, and I'd like for you to research me. Learn me for yourself. I am your candidate. I will take care of you, and you can trust this candidate. My name is Tracy Steens, and I'm running for Lamarck City Council, District A, and I am your candidate.
Thank you, Tracy. We appreciate it. Now up, Wayne Hobgood gets to take us out for the night. Up to 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening, City of Lamarck and all other viewers. Thank y'all for taking time watching us tonight. I just want to say that I have a genealogy here in the City of Lamarck. I am also on the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Lamarck. I served in the United States Army for our country. I am Vice President of the African American Historical Preservation Committee. I have partnered with religious organizations in Galveston County to bring about youth programs. I have been out in Galveston County doing homeless ministry. I am one that takes off the gloves and fight for you when you're ready for someone to help fight. Fear, because God did not give us the spirit of fear. There's nothing but love, sound mind, and power. I want you to understand, City of Lamarck, that when you choose me for District 8, you will get a person that lives in the district, understands what the citizens of this district is enduring on a daily basis. I wake up in District 8 and I go to sleep in District 8. So just know that I will not only be fighting for what's right, and I'll be fighting for you personally and individually, one by one. And the reason why is because you are Lamarck, I am Lamarck, we are Lamarck. Vote for Wayne Hobgood, your next District 8 candidate here, number 4 on the ballot. Thank you, and God bless y'all.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, all the candidates, for coming on with us here tonight. As was mentioned, early voting begins on Monday and Election Day, May the 1st. The last 2 days of early voting, by the way, are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Most of the time, they're 8 to 5. And there are 2 voting locations in the city of Lamarck. You can vote anywhere in Galveston County, any polling location, but the 2 polling centers are at the community room next to City Hall or the Central Fire Station in Lamarck as well. Polls open up on Monday morning, and we'll be obviously the night of May 1st touching base with all of you as we'll be following election results that night and reaching out to you throughout the evening as well. Thank you all for taking part of this tonight. I know we went long. I'm looking over at Rashida and Mayor Keith Bell as they get ready to go for the mayoral debate. That's coming up next. We'll have that, and we hope to have a lively discussion there. And hopefully everybody stays up late for that one as well. For those of you watching this, as soon as we end this broadcast, it will be ready for replay for those who may have missed it before. Thank you all for being a part of this tonight. And stay tuned, folks. We're coming up with the mayoral forum right after this. I'm TJ Alt, I-45 Now.
Thank you. God bless.